So I wanted to go in and speak about the Galaxy S22, the battery specifically. Now, to me, it's not that bad. Now, I come from a Galaxy S9. For one, that phone is 4 years old. I've actually only been using it about 3 years. Also, the battery is smaller on that phone than it is on this phone. So when I got this phone, I was actually pleasantly surprised, but still a little bit disappointed. The battery lasts, that I'm sure the battery on my old phone had slowed down. It wasn't up to par with what it used to be. And so getting this phone, I noticed that I could use longer on screen time, meaning I could take it out to the park all day, and I actually had about 30 or 40% battery when I got back home, which was, with my other phone, it would have been dead. It would have been dead. But it wasn't it's not great enough to blow you away. Like, my fiance has a mid-range phone, and he could be gone all day and still get back home and it has 50% left. Like, all day. His phone might even get 2 days use. So that's great, right? But the Galaxy S22, the phone is subpar. It's not the best battery, but it's not the worst I've seen. It is, I think a lot of people get disappointed because it's a really expensive phone and they expect like this amazing battery. Unfortunately, it's not amazing. It's not horrible. And for me, it's not a deal breaker. For some, it may be. If you have to have a better battery, you might consider something like the iPhone or another Samsung phone. Maybe if you have to have flagship and you have to have a great battery and you have to have a great phone, you might want to go for an iPhone. Maybe consider the Pixel. Pixel has some known software issues with some of their phones, and that's a risk you take. And if you like an Android, going to an iPhone might seem a bit of a downgrade to some people, because iOS operating system, you lose your Play Store and you lose a lot of the customization and features that you get with Android phones. That being said, if you're upgrading from an S21 to an S22, you might be disappointed because the S22 battery is smaller. On the other hand, I upgraded from the S9. It might be worth looking in and seeing look at your phone, go in and Google the phone, look at the battery size that you have, and compare that to the specifications on the Galaxy S22. Like I said, I'm coming from a Galaxy S9. My Galaxy S9 had a smaller battery. The screen was a little bit smaller. It was a little bit taller than this phone, but a little bit less wide. The specs are very comparable. All around, the phones are about the same size. All around, because this phone is just a little bit shorter. That phone's a little bit taller, but this phone's a little bit more wide. Putting them side by side, it's very little difference. If you're comparing them, this phone might just be the tiniest bit bigger, but that's just because it's a little bit wider. Like I said, that phone's a little bit taller. But overall, yeah, so overall, this phone does support rapid charge. I had to make that clear because I was pretty impressed with it. My other phone took probably 2, 3, 4 hours to charge, where this phone, I would guesstimate 2.5 to 3.5 hours. I didn't really time it, to be honest with you. This phone supports rapid charge, the S22. It was like 10% charged. I went to wash dishes, come back, and it was fully charged. So maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Not that it takes me that long to wash dishes. I just want to say, because each phone is different, so what you might notice a little bit of difference. I noticed and under an hour it was fully charged. So that's pretty awesome. No complaints with the phone. Battery could be better. Speakers are louder than my S9. I've heard crackling a couple times, and I'm not sure if that's coming from the speaker or the other end from where I was watching YouTube. And the speaker was on, the crackling was on the other end, or if it was actually coming out of my speaker. It's happened 3 times, and I've had this phone close to 2 weeks, and it only lasted for like a second. So that being said, I'm not even sure it's coming from my phone. So yeah, all in all, I'm very happy with the phone. The battery is just really gonna, I would compare it to the size of the battery that you have and go from there. Because if you are upgrading to this phone and your battery's bigger than this, you may be like, wow, this is a bit of a downgrade. But you know, also batteries, they deteriorate with time. So if your phone is 3, 4, 5 years old, there's a good chance that it's slowing down with age. So for me, this is a bit of an upgrade from my Galaxy S9, but not significantly so, because my Galaxy S9, it's came out in 2018, but I didn't get it until 2019, midway through. I may have been using that phone 2.5, 3 years. So the battery was okay. I noticed over the past few months it seemed to be slowing down just a little bit, but like I said, I can't fault this phone. I like it. It's not enough. I'm not gonna say, hey, I hate this phone, I'm gonna return it. If you read reviews, you will see a lot of negatives on the battery life. All I'm saying is it's not as bad as I expected from the reviews that I read. Definitely not as bad as I expected. And what I was told is after the first week or two, the battery will improve because it gets used to your usage. And also after it does all of its updates, and you know, the first week it can seem like the battery drains a little bit more, and then when you get used to it, it just seems to work itself out. And that's probably even more so if you're coming from a phone with a bigger battery. That's something to take into consideration as well. All in all, this phone's pretty great. So I'm gonna get off here, and I just wanted to go into some about the battery and my personal opinions on it.